Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell here, and this is just a super quick video to let you know that the 23rd period for the Canada Recovery Benefit Program, the application for it is opening up tomorrow on Monday, August 16th. Now, this will be an application as it has typically been for the past little while, but in today's video, we're going to talk about one major change that you may have noticed as of the last CRB, as well as how this potential election that's just been called could or potentially couldn't affect the way this benefit will roll out in the future. But as always, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so to keep on supporting Canadian content like this being produced on the YouTube platform, and check out the links in the description where you can learn all about building wealth right here in Canada. All right, let's get into these details about this most recent CRB. You might remember that period 22, this past period, for anybody who's been applying for the CRB since the beginning, you will have received your newer, lower amount. But there also was a change to the application that many people weren't expecting, and that was that they were now requiring you, the CRA, when you're applying, to have filed and have completed your taxes. And they're using this as a way to make sure that you meet the various requirements for the eligibility criteria for the CRB. A little bit odd that they're doing this now as opposed to potentially implementing this earlier on, but it is an interesting change that has happened, and I've heard from many people saying, hey, this was something that was unexpected, but now it's going to be added to the application. But this is the way the CRA rolls things out sometimes. It's not the most agile, or they're not the best at giving you that information ahead of time. So a little bit frustrating for those who may not have filed their taxes ahead of time, who are now potentially cut off for the short term until they can get those taxes filed. You might also remember that the CRB was recently announced that it would be extended until the end of October, an additional month from the September 25th date that it was supposed to expire. But interestingly enough, on the CRB website, on the CRA, it's still just listed as the government is proposing to extend the CRB by 2 periods, 4 weeks. I think that they're able to do this via regulations, so there shouldn't be any problems here with actually making this change happen, but maybe they just haven't updated their website yet, because when you go in here, all periods 1 to 26, you can see that the final period listed on the CRA website is September 12th to September 25th, even though that isn't the case as of the most recent announcements from the government. And as a quick reminder for those who may not have received the lower amount because they hadn't previously claimed 21 periods, remember that once you have claimed 21 periods of the CRB, your amount is going to go down from the $900 that was hitting your account to $540 per 2-week period. That is the reduction after you take the tax away from it. And so that would potentially hit you as soon as you've finished your 21 periods at the full amount. And again, any new applicants to the program, even if you haven't used any periods in the past, you're going to be starting at that new lowered amount. And now to talk a little bit about how this election could play out and how it could affect things. You might know that just this morning, Parliament was dissolved, meaning that there's going to be an election on September 20th, just 36 days away. Now, if you haven't caught up with what has happened and what the various parties have said since then, I'm going to be covering that here on the channel, and you can actually check out my most recent videos where I do a deep dive on everything that was said today, and there was quite a lot. But how is that going to affect the CRB benefit? Well, luckily, it won't affect this extension to the end of October very much, because that can be changed through regulation. And you might also remember that the inside of the legislation for the CRB benefit, they actually have the ability to extend this benefit all the way until the end of November. And now, if they decide to make that decision, they actually would be able to do that during this election period, because again, this was written into the legislation as something they can regulate or something that they can change without actually having to do any work in the House of Commons. So if Carla Qualtrough, the employment minister, as well as Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister, see that, hey, the employment numbers aren't where we want them to be, Canadians continue to need support, even though we are in the midst of an election, they may be able to make this change, even though they obviously aren't in a typical political landscape. But with that being said, depending on which party is successful in this election, we could be seeing different landscapes in the future when it comes to various supports and benefits. But don't worry, if you're subscribed to this channel, I'm going to be keeping you posted and up to date with all the various parties' plans for how they might change things if they were to be elected. So if you're subscribed to the channel, any information that you could possibly need, I'm going to do my best to bring it to you right here. Also, as a quick announcement about the channel, throughout this election, we're likely going to be doing a fair amount of live streams on the channel. So I'd love to get to know you. I get to talk to everybody in chat a little bit and get to know some familiar faces. So if you've appreciated the content I've made on the channel thus far, I'd like to invite you to check out some of those videos as we cover this election and as we sort sort of bring information here as unbiased as possible about everything that's going on, because things are going to move quickly. This is literally the shortest election campaign period that you could possibly have by law. So we're going to be covering this rather quickly with a lot of content. So make sure to stay tuned for all of that. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them down there in the comment section. And while you're scrolling down there, make sure to check out the links in the description where you can get 2 stocks for free when you sign up for Wealthsimple Trade, or you can check out the Canada Money Mastery program where you can get 40% off with coupon code GROW, where we talk all about building wealth right here in Canada. It would be wonderful to see you in there. But with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video has helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.